Okay, we're coming back in session. Mr. Clerk, ring the bell. We're back in session. Let's get everybody back in here. House will come back to order. House will come back to order. Chair recognizes the chairman of the Higher Education Committee, Chairman Rogers, for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House on higher education, we had scheduled a meeting today, but since the day's going a little bit longer, we will cancel and reschedule. Thank you.
Well, that might not have been necessary. We are back in session. We've got a few bills left from the rules calendar. We're going to work a little bit longer to see if our colleagues across the hall can take up some legislation. We've been here now for 36 and a half legislative days. And the Senate has not acted on the budget yet. They've not acted on another measure or two. So I'm not sure how long we're going to stay here this afternoon, but we're going to give them a little time to take up some business, and then we'll see who don't want to do anything. Clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolution.
These first two resolutions are invitation resolutions. They're being read for the first time today. Referred to the Committee on Rules. A resolution by Representative Sharper, 177th, commending the Valdosta High School Quartet, and inviting them to be recognized by the House of Representatives. Resolution by Representative Sharper, the 177th, commending High School Quartet, inviting them to be recognized by the House. This is an invitation resolution being read for the first time today and referred to the Committee on Rules. Following resolution is a privileged resolution being read for the first time today for adoption. Resolution by Representative Parrish, 158th, honoring and celebrating the 100th birthday of Mr. James H. Morgan. Resolution by Representative Teasley, the 37th, recognizing commending Dylan Michael Bone. Resolution by Representative Lindsay of the 54th, recognizing commending Davidson College men's basketball team on winning the Southern Conference Championship. Resolution by Representative Hawkins, 27th, congratulating North High School Trojans varsity boys basketball team on its exemplary season. Resolution by Representative Drenner, the 85th, congratulating the Atlanta Freedom Band's 20th anniversary, recognizing the LGBT's International Conference. Resolution by Representative Morgan, 39th, recognizing commending Ms. Belinda Ashcraft. Resolution by Representative Brooks, 55th, on the life and memory of Deacon Johnny Anthony Neal. Resolution by Representative Epps, 132nd, on the life and memory of Mr. Willie Harold Johnson. Resolution by Representative Bennett, 94th, on the life and memory of Mrs. Ruby Yvette Simpson. Resolution by Representative Anderson, 92nd, recognizing commending Mr. Carl Flanagan, occasion of his retirement. Resolution by Representative Setzler, 35th, recognizing commending Chesley Phillip Roebuck, Resolution by Representative Roberts, 155th, recommending Mr. John Lindsay, Class A 2012 Football Coach of the Year. Resolution by Representative Thomas, 56, recognizing and commending Audrey Scott Williams. Resolution by Representative Waits, the 60th, recognizing and commending Pamela Perkins Carn. Resolution by Representative Thomas, 56, recognizing and commending Sri Charles Davis. Through the privileged resolutions.
Is there objection to the adoption of the privileged resolutions? Is there objection? Chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. The clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 234. Senate Bill 234.
Senate Bill 234 by Senator Jones, 25th, the bill being entitled Act, amending Code Section 332312 relating to limited license to provide for the comprehensive revision provisions regarding the issuance, regulation of limited license to sell travel insurance. This bill having been before the House Committee on Insurance. Committee recommends the bill do pass. The bill is being read today for the third time.
Chair recognizes Chairman Rogers to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and members of the House. I bring to you Senate Bill 234 by Senator Burt Jones, a famous University of Georgia football player. All this bill does is bring travel insurance in compliance with the Department of Insurance. There's no opposition to the bill. It's kind of like what we did last year, the ones that were here. We did the same type of bill for electronics, dealing with master license and limited license. Be glad to answer any questions if there are any, Mr. Speaker. If not, I'll yield the well.
You have no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 234 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of Senate Bill 234. The ayes are 156, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 231. Senate Bill 231.
Senate Bill 231 by Senator Loudermilk, 14th, bill being entitled Act amending Title 15 relating to the Georgia Drivers Education Commission so as to extend the sunset provisions for the additional sums collected on fines for the purpose of funding the commission and driver education training in Georgia. Bill having been before the House Committee on Motor Vehicles, the committee recommends that this bill do pass by way of a committee substitute. Bill is being read today for the third time.
Chair recognizes the chair of the Motor Vehicles Committee, Chairman Rice, to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This Senate Bill 231 is simply an extension of the sunset on what was the Joshua Law's funding for the Driver Education Commission, which is administered by the Department of Driver Services. Basically, all this bill does is to extend the sunset to 2016. It brings the fee that's collected on every traffic offense in this state into accord with what prior appropriations have been in the past for the Driver Education Commission. And the third thing it does is to require for the first time accountability on the part of the Driver Education Commission in terms of report back to the legislature saying exactly what they used this for and whether or not there was an effective level of capability derived from what the expenditure was. And that, Mr. Speaker, is the bill, and I stand for any questions.
You have a question if you care to yield.
I'll take one.
Chair recognizes the chairman of the House Transportation Committee, Chairman Roberts, to your right.
Does the gentleman yield?
I certainly do.
You know where I'm going with this. I've kind of always been against the Joshua's Law because we hadn't funded it. And does this bill now put the funding in the right place, or are we still going to be at the same situation years from now where we are today, where we're not funding?
I think we move a step closer to that, Mr. Chairman. As you well know, there's no earmark capability. There was no constitutional amendment ever passed on this. And frankly, the results of the driver education witness the auditor's report. Questions whether the effectivity of driver education in terms of traffic accidents at that level, the teen level. And so what this does, in reducing the fee to 1.5%, that will generate about $3 million in revenue, which is about what they spent when there was an appropriation for the Driver Education Commission. That should be enough to let them figure out whether or not there's an effective case for continuing this fee. As you well know, every time we put a fee on traffic violations, the number of people driving without licenses and insurance goes up, doesn't go down.
Do you yield for any further questions?
I am finished. I think we ought to vote on the measure, Mr. Speaker, and I thank you for your attentiveness.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 231 will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of Senate Bill 231, the ayes are 154, the nays are 6. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. What purpose does Chairman Rice rise?
Motion, Mr. Speaker.
State your motion.
Speaker, I'd like to move for immediate transmittal of the House substitute to Senate Bill 231 to the Senate.
Chairman Rice has moved that Senate Bill 231 be immediately transmitted to the Senate. Is there objection? The chair hears none, and it is so ordered. The clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 158. Senate Bill 158.
Senate Bill 158 by Senator Orrock of 36. Bill will be entitled Act amending Code Section 29-418, relating definitions, requirements, termination of temporary medical consent guardianship, so as to change certain signatures on a physical order for life-sustaining treatment. Bill had been for the House Committee on Judiciary. The committee recommends that this bill pass by way of a committee substitute. Bill is being read today for the third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Welch to present the bill. Just a moment, Representative. We are on the rules calendar, and I think there may be a supplemental calendar on there, on your desk now. So I'm going to ask members to remain in their seats unless they have business that they absolutely must attend to, and if they do, then go to the anterooms. Chair recognizes Representative Welch to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I present to you Senate Bill 158, and this is a correction and creates consistency in end-of-life documents for the signature of the person that's authorizing the end-of-life documents. Specifically, this deals with the physician's order for life-sustaining treatment, and you'll see on line 11, it changes the word "and" to "or." And then in committee, we specified who is an authorized person by referring to the code section that's pertinent to this particular code section you're amending. I ask for your favorable consideration of the bill. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Don't appear to have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 158 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 158. The ayes are 162, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. What purpose does Representative Welch arise?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To make a motion
State your motion.
for immediate transmittal of Senate Bill 158 to the Senate.
Representative Welch has moved that Senate Bill 158 be immediately transmitted to the Senate. Is there objection? The chair hears none, and it is so ordered. The chair wants to announce that Senate Bill 187 will be postponed to the next legislative day. Senate Bill 187. We're on to the supplemental rules calendar. Not sure for how long, but the clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 134. Okay. We've got an amendment on that one. It's premature. We will come back to that one. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 226. Senate Bill 226.
Senate Bill 226 by Senator Senate Bill 226 by Senator Goots, 51st. Bill entitled 45 related to coroners, change certain provisions relating to investigation fees. Bill has been before the House Committee on Governmental Affairs. Committee recommends this bill do pass. Been read for the third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Tanner to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, I bring before you Senate Bill 226. A few years ago, the General Assembly passed some legislation relating to the coroners being able to collect a death investigation fee. This applies to counties with a population less than 35,000. In those counties, many of our coroners make a very low salary, and it's difficult for counties to attract people to run for this position because they're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to provide this service to their community. ACCG had interpreted at one point that the coroners could not receive this under the law, so this is an effort on behalf of the coroners to clarify that the coroners are eligible to receive the benefit of $175 per death investigation. It also, in many of our communities, many of your communities, you may have a situation where the coroner has over the years asked and received local legislation that governs their salary and sets that salary rate. This would not affect those coroners, but it would give them the opportunity to choose which path they wanted to take. They could remain under that local legislation, or they could come to the county prior to October 1st of each year and to determine which method that they wanted to be compensated under. This gives the counties and the cities an opportunity to prepare their budgets for the following year. But in essence, it just clarifies the language. Gives the coroners a clear path to being able to collect the death investigation fee of $175 per case. Be glad to answer any questions and ask for your favorable consideration for Senate Bill 226.
You have no questions.
I yield the well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 226 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of Senate Bill 226, the ayes are 162, the nays are 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 185.
Senate Bill 185 by Senator Stone, 23rd, a bill being entitled Title 11, relating to secure transactions, so as to modernize the article, change and provide for definitions. Amend Code Section 3310.1 relating to assets considered in determining financial condition of insurers generally, so as to correct a cross-reference. Bill having been for the House Committee on Judiciary, the committee recommends the bill pass, be read for the third time.
Chair recognizes Chairman Jacobs to present the bill.
Okay, you got this amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I bring before you today Senate Bill 185. Senate Bill 185 is simply a periodic update to Article 9 of the Uniform Commercial Code, which governs secured transactions. A majority of states, these updates come out periodically from the Uniform Law Commission for adoption by the states, and then very quickly after that, the states generally adopt these updates so as to keep the law with regard to secured transactions uniform across the United States. A majority of states have already adopted this update, and so we are simply seeking to make Georgia's law comport with the law of the majority of the states that have already adopted this update to Article 9 of the Uniform Commercial Code. And with that, Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I will yield the well.
You have no questions.
I yield the well and ask for the House's favorable consideration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 185 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of Senate Bill 185. The ayes are 160, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 113. Senate Bill 113.
Senate Bill 113 by Senator Jones on the 10th. Bill to be entitled Act amending Code Section 911.4 relating to process change provisions related to the personal service of a summons on a corporation. Bill having been for the House Committee on Judiciary. The committee recommends the bill to pass by way of a committee substitute. The bill is being read today for the third time.
Chair recognizes the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Chairman Willard, to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senate Bill 113 is looking at the service of what we do as far as process of service, legal papers on business entities, primarily corporations. It came to us by Senator Emmanuel Jones, who is a businessman and who had an instance where he was involved in a lawsuit. They served a person. The question was whether or not there was proper service or not, and really had a default judgment, small amount, but still a default judgment. He was concerned about what our law says. So he started with the bill. It passed the Senate. It came to our committee. We did some changing to try and clarify what we have as far as domestic corporations and foreign corporations, and also other types of business. You notice on line 15, we struck through what has been, it says the president or other officer of the corporation, secretary, cashier. We struck through the part about the secretary, cashier, because that was always an old term, primarily addressing banks. And we moved that out, and on the second page of the bill is where we get into the division between. Actually, it starts at page 1 on line 13, you have 1A, and then line 37B, we're defining the term managing agent because that's a party who can be served on behalf of a corporation, and that term means a person employed by a corporation or a foreign corporation who is an officer or who is an officer or facility in this state and who has managerial or supervisory authority for such corporation. Then under 2, we're defining other types of business, and still defined again who is the managing agent. You see an amendment on your desk. I want to talk about the amendment because after the bill came out, we had some concerns if we have overlooked what is a business as a foreign corporation doing business in our state, which you have a lot of them from time to time, and they don't become registered, then they're involved in a lawsuit. How do you make service on that? So we clarified that with the provision under paragraph 2A again, recognizing doing business in this state without authorization to transact business, and it also modified that paragraph B definition of managing agent. I want to go back and also point out on the amendment lines 3 and 4, again talk about the foreign corporation and a managing agent. We also recognize a registered agent as being a proper party to receive service. Corporations to register with the Secretary of State, either as a domestic corporation or foreign corporation, must have a registered agent. So that's where we want to be sure that was clarified. Mr. Speaker, if there's no questions, I'd ask my colleagues to favorably support Senate Bill 113.
You have no questions.
Thank you very much.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. There is an amendment. There is an amendment. It's offered by Chairman Willard. It's AM 292173, 292173. Is there objection to adoption of the amendment? There is no objection, and the amendment is adopted. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute as amended? The chair hears none. The committee substitute as amended is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 113 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 113. The ayes are 162. The nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 115. Senate Bill 115. What purpose does Chairman Willard rise?
Speaker.
State your motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move for immediate transmittal of Senate Bill 113 to the Senate with the amendment.
Chairman Willard has moved for the immediate transmittal of Senate Bill 113. Is there objection? Chair hears none, and it is so ordered, and it is on its way across the hall. Senate Bill 1, clerk will read the caption. Senate Bill 115.
Senate Bill 115 by Senator Tippins, 37th. The bill being entitled Admin Code Section 20-2-133 relating to free public instruction so that by that performance data of students and certain placements are included in the resident school system data. Bill having been for the House Committee on Education. Committee recommends the bill do pass. Bill is being read today for the third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Teasley to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Bring before you Senate Bill 115, which attempts to address an unexpected problem. Residential treatment centers help troubled youth be able to get their lives back on track, and the state has a responsibility to educate them, and they obviously have to fall under an LEA, a local educational so that the local school system is required to educate them. But unfortunately, in some of our smaller systems like Dublin or the city of Marietta, they are negatively impacting scores. And so what this bill does, if you look on lines 77 through 83, what it does is it says we are still required to educate these children, but it will not affect the scoring that these school systems have to deal with and state requirements and so forth. So with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions and ask for your favorable consideration.
You have no questions.
Thank you.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 115 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 115. The ayes are 161. The nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Chair recognizes Chairman England for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House disagree on the Senate substitute to House Bill 106.
Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 106 by Representative Ralston, 7th, a bill to make and provide appropriations, state fiscal year, July 1, 2013, ending June 30th, 2014.
Chair recognizes Chairman England to explain his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Then we just start in the process to get it to a conference committee, and that's all we're doing. We'll send it back over there. They will probably insist, and it'll come back to us to insist and appoint.
On the motion of Chairman England that this House disagree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 106, is there any objection? The chair hears none, and this House has disagreed. It's on its way back to the Senate. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 100. Senate Bill 100.
Senate Bill 100 by Senator Wilkerson, the 50th bill entitled 20, relating to education accountability assessment programs, so as to reestablish the Career Technical Education Advisory Commission by membership, terms, officers, duties, meetings, reimbursement of members. Bill has been for the House Committee on Education. The committee recommends the bill do pass. Bill is being read today, third time.
Chair recognizes Chairman Maxwell to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a repeat of a bill we did in, it was House Bill 1226 that passed in 06. We created the Career and Technical Education Advisory Commission. It sunset last year. We got the bill passed out of the House. We couldn't get it approved in Senate, couldn't get it out of Senate rules in time to revive or renew this commission. This is in conjunction with the Ag Education Advisory Commission that we passed the same year. It was extended properly last year, so we're just reinstituting this commission to help our K-12 career and technical education students, and I would appreciate your favorable support. If any questions, Mr. Speaker, I'll try to answer them.
You have no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'm sorry, there was a question. Was there a question? No, no question. See, that's why we need to get out of here this afternoon. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 100 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 100. The ayes are 156, the nays are 4. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 121, Senate Bill 121.
Senate Bill 121 by Senator Ramsey of the 43rd. Will be entitled Act amending Title 40 relating to prestige license plates, provide for special plates, certain persons' vehicles, so to provide for special license plates to retired members of the General Assembly. This bill has been for the House Committee on Motor Vehicles. The committee recommends bill passed by way of a committee substitute. Bill is being read today for the third time.
Chair recognizes Chairman Rice to present the bill.
I'll try and hope you get out of here early, Mr. Speaker. Maybe this will take a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to present to you Senate Bill 121. All this bill was another tag bill that came over from the Senate that the committee gave an opportunity for former legislators to, after serving 8 years, to have a special license plate. We also stuck on all the other license plate tags we passed previously and is now in the Senate. There's an amendment by the Pro Tem to strip out the language with regard to the former member's tag, just leave our stuff in there and give the Senate an opportunity to act on either one of the bills. And Mr. Speaker, that's it.
I think there's an amendment, is there not?
Yeah.
Is there an objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. There is an amendment. It is an amendment offered by the Speaker Pro Tem. It is Amendment 350333. Is there any objection to adopting the amendment? The chair hears none. The amendment is adopted. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute as amended? The chair hears none. The committee substitute as amended is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 121 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 121. The ayes are 160, the nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 86. Senate Bill 86.
Senate Bill 86 by Senator Stone, 23rd, a bill being entitled Act amending Title 16, Title 17 relating to stalking, criminal procedure respectively, so as to provide greater protection for victims of family violence, define family violence order, change provisions relating to arrest with and without warrants. The bill has been before the House Committee on Judiciary and Non-Civil Committee recommends bill do pass by way of a committee substitute. This bill is being read today for its third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Atwood to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, this bill is fairly simple. It establishes a new misdemeanor offense for violation of a criminal, let me emphasize that, criminal, not civil, family violence order. It allows a police officer to then make a warrantless arrest for a violation of a criminal family violence order, and it then also restates a requirement that the police officer must bring that individual before a magistrate within 48 hours. We've worked very closely with the Commission on Family Violence, the Georgia Coalition Against Domestic Violence, and the Georgia Association of Solicitors Generals, and they're all comfortable with this legislation. I ask for your favorable consideration.
You have a question. Do you care to yield?
I do. I will.
Chair recognizes Chairman Rogers to your right for a question.
To the gentleman, well, yield.
I do, sir.
Explain to me, if you don't mind, about going into someone's house without a warrant.
That is the Supreme Court and long series of constitutional cases have held various levels of expectation of privacy according to where the location is, such as the human being and the human body has the highest expectation of privacy, followed by the home, I think, would be the second most sacrosanct area. So to go into a home, which the Supreme Court, both the Georgia and United States Supreme Court, have long held without a warrant, is something that we do not encourage. There are a limited number of exceptions, what we call exigent circumstances, to be able to do that, such as you see an individual spot the police officers that are outside getting ready to surveil him, and he comes out and he starts destroying evidence. If there's a threat inside a home of someone intimately under danger and that sort of thing. But by and large, they do not encourage it without a warrant.
Okay. So if you'll yield again.
I will, sir.
The Supreme Court has made this decision based on their ruling. So hypothetical, if I had an issue at my home, someone thought there was a domestic dispute, then they could still enter my home without a warrant. Is that correct?
It would depend on the circumstances. I would say it would really need to be imminent. If the police officer arrives on the scene, hears screaming inside and that sort of thing, possibly they could. But even then, we've had circumstances where, and I used to do an awful lot of this, both as an attorney, as a judge, and as a police officer. We've had circumstances where we actually went in security area and then went and got the warrant, stayed everything still until we moved on, because the courts do have a heightened degree of scrutiny, especially if you find evidence and that sort of thing there and you didn't secure a warrant, you stood a good chance of losing it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. With that, Mr. Speaker, I'll yield.
You have no further questions. The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 86 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of Senate Bill 86. The ayes are 152. The nays are 10. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. The clerk will read the caption to House Resolution 552. House Resolution 552.
House Resolution 552 by Representative Chandler, 105th, a resolution requesting the implementation of comprehensive school counseling programs for Georgia students. Resolution has been before the House Committee on Education. Committee recommends this resolution do pass. Resolution is read today for its third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Chandler to present the bill. Hang on just a minute, Representative. I can't even hear the clerk up here. Now, I know all of you have conversations that are very important. That's why we have the ante rooms for you to take those to. Let's give attention and respect to the members in the well presenting bills. Chair recognizes Representative Chandler to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I come to you before you to present House Resolution 552, which is an urging resolution asking for the implementation of comprehensive school counseling programs for all of Georgia's students. These programs are proactive, they're data-driven, and they are not crisis-driven or reactive. DOE has a ruling that says that counselors are to spend 5 out of 6 segments of a school day working directly with students, but that's not being done in many of our schools. We believe that Georgia's students all deserve school counselors who are spending the majority of their time every day addressing academic, career, and personal social developmental issues and working indirectly with parents and teachers and administrators. About 20 years ago, the American School Counselor Association began conducting research and developing a comprehensive counseling program that has standards and competencies and a curriculum. And that has been adopted by many states. School counseling programs that are comprehensive have activities and interventions that call for impacting and result in impacting student achievement, improving the school climate, and that is especially in the areas of attendance and behavior and school safety issues. School counseling programs that are comprehensive reduce barriers to learning, and they also produce young people who are college, career, and life ready. And I am sure, Mr. Speaker, I have no questions because everybody wants to go home.
Not that bad.
It was worth a try.
It was, and that was a good effort. That was the appeal to Friday afternoon. Chair recognizes, do you yield?
I do.
Chair recognizes Representative Taylor to your right for a question.
Generally yield.
Yes.
As a person who required a lot of counseling when I was in high school, I just wanted to ask a question. Is this your first bill?
Could I say no? I'm afraid it is.
Chair recognizes Chairman Dixon to your right for a question.
With a lady to yield.
I
Back
do,
here in
but
the
I
back.
can't find him. Oh,
I'm back in the back.
Oh, okay. I see you now.
And it's a friendly question.
Oh, good.
For anybody who would advocate for school counselors, I think you deserve a friendly question.
Thank you.
But unfortunately, the other side of the equation, who's going to do the work that we're taking, that would not be done if counselors take these new responsibilities?
And that's a good question. But school counselors are not trained to do administrative tasks. And they have no business doing them because basically they don't know how. They need to be counselors.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes the the whip of the majority caucus, Representative Lindsay. I think he's going to ask the question that I was interested in about what it really means to be life ready.
Oh.
Exactly right, Mr. Speaker. Will the lady yield?
Yes.
Is anybody truly ready for life?
What a question. I don't know. I'm still working on that. But I needed good counseling to help me get there. Maybe that's the problem.
It's, will the lady further yield?
Yes.
It's my understanding that you yourself used to be a school counselor, is that correct?
I was.
How many years were you a school counselor?
Just 31.
Does the phrase steel hand wrapped in a velvet glove, has that ever been applied to you?
I believe it has, more than once.
I understand that in addition to your excellent work as a school counselor for 31 years, you also raised a mentally challenged child who unfortunately went wayward and ended up in the state senate. Is that correct?
Well, he was actually my son-in-law, but I allowed him to marry my daughter.
Well, that was very gracious of you, ma'am. And that shows you just how wise it was for you to end up here, not there. But as someone who also spent an inordinate amount of time in the school counselor's office, I want to thank you for bringing this bill, and welcome to the House.
Thank you.
You have more questions if you care to yield.
I think I've answered enough questions. Let's go home.
Very smart lady. The lady has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this resolution now be adopted? All those in favor of the adoption of the resolution will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the adoption of House Resolution 552. The ayes are 159, the nays are 1. This resolution, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore adopted. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 70. Senate Bill 70.
Senate Bill 70 by Senator Gooch, 51st bill being entitled 32, relating to Department of Transportation's power to contract generally so as to change the type of projects eligible for design-build contracts and the procurement process for those contracts. Bill having been for the House Committee on Transportation. That committee recommends the bill to pass. The bill is being read for the third time.
Chair recognizes Chairman Burns to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I bring you a bill that I think will help all of us accomplish one of the primary goals we have for many of us when we come to elected office, and that's help improve the transportation infrastructure of our state. One of the things that's very critical to our success in so many ways, economic development, but mainly the quality of life for our citizens. SB 70 is a design bill, best value bill. Design bill allows our state agency who's signed this task, GDOT, to partner with the private sector on both design and delivery. Design bill best value allows the department to balance both innovation and cost savings to produce and deliver the best product at the lowest cost and the highest quality. SB 70 is a consensus bill. Even though it started over in the Senate, I would applaud our Chairman of Transportation here in the House, Jay Roberts. He brought all of the interested parties together, and there were many interested parties and many different conflicting opinions on how we should go about this, from the department to the private contractors to the folks who are deeply involved in technology, which is so critical to our transportation success today, to help provide another tool in that toolkit for delivering projects faster, less expensively, and it brings those traditional folks together with the IT companies to make sure that technology that serves us so well in transportation can be applied to those problems. All the while maintaining that lower cost that help us to utilize our existing infrastructure and to create new infrastructure that is more efficient with the use of technology and with the better use of innovation that comes from the private sector as we seek to stretch our dollars. SB 70 also provides the flexibility to the department that exists in 41 other states around this country. It also exists in other agencies in our state like GBA, JustFIC, SRTA, and a true design build program that incorporates both price and product considerations. I'll stress price and product consideration. SB 70 also creates a streamlined process for less complex design build projects to help reduce delays in product delivery. And we all know how important that is. SB 70 also incorporates some safeguards to make sure we don't get too many projects of too much of our appropriations to GDOT in this category. They would be capped at 50% of the previous year's lettings. Now in the past, that has been much smaller. In the single digits or the low teens is all they've been able to accomplish in this area. And I really believe this will be a innovative way, and this legislation allows us to give them this tool to really bring these projects forward and strengthen our transportation infrastructure by better design, more safety, job one, and more efficient production and better use of our tax dollars. Here's the main thing it does. Saves time and money while providing the opportunity to achieve innovation, which is so important in this day and time, in the delivery of our transportation projects as we seek to provide transportation infrastructure for all of our folks. That's what the bill does. I'll be glad to answer a question if you have one, and if not, I would ask you to support the bill. It's been thoroughly vetted. It's good legislation, and it gives us that additional tool to provide for the citizens of our state. Mr. Speaker, that's what I have.
You also have a couple of questions if you care to yield.
I would yield, yes, sir.
Chair recognizes Chairman Martin to your right for a question. Okay, he waves. Chair recognizes Representative Turner to your left for a question.
Thank you. Will the gentleman yield?
I would.
I noticed, this is just kind of a background question, if you wouldn't mind. I noticed that we are removing these 3 letters of interest in order to proceed. Could you just give us some background? We're talking about lines 82 through 86 being struck.
No, he's getting on another one.
Really what that accomplishes, that right now the department would require three bids, 3 proposals. And what we've seen is, when you look at complex engineering proposals and bids, they are very, very expensive. And what we found is that some of these companies, if we have 3 bids, one of them drops out, then that will allow the department not to require the entire process to begin again. They can move forward with the process with just 2 bidders if necessary. And so we see that sometimes from, believe it or not, as strategic moves and folks that are competitively bidding to add that additional cost. But as you know, engineering, and we had some testimony in committee from one of the engineers that is a member of the House, how expensive and what a critical part as far as the cost factor in these projects engineering is. So this just allows the process to continue to move forward.
I don't think you have no further questions.
I would ask you to favorably consider SB 70, and I appreciate your consideration. I think it'll be good legislation that helps all of us satisfy the transportation needs in our state for our citizens. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 70 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted?
Joyce.
Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of Senate Bill 70, the ayes are 157. The nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed.
Good job, Mel. Bad job. I tried to catch him before he
All right, we're back on the rules calendar. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 105. Senate Bill 105.
Senate Bill 105 by Senator Davis, the 22nd, a bill to amend Title 18, Uniform Fraudulent Transfers Act. So it's by definition, provide that a charitable contribution be made to a charitable organization will not be deemed to be a fraudulent transfer when the charitable organization receives the contribution in good faith. Bill having been before the House Committee on Judiciary. Committee recommends this bill pass by way of a committee substitute. The bill is being read for the third time.
Chair recognizes Chairman Jacobs to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I bring before you today Senate Bill 105. Before I explain the bill, I should probably explain what a fraudulent transfer is. It's contained in something called the Uniform Fraudulent Transfers Act, and it's not fraud in the classic sense. It's a transfer of property that is made at a time that the person making the transfer is insolvent, and then that person, to the person that they make the transfer to, doesn't receive from the second person a reasonably equivalent value, something of roughly equivalent value to what they have transferred. Under the Uniform Fraudulent Transfers Act, a creditor then who had lent money to the person who made the transfer would then be able to come and sue the person who received the transfer and claw it back for the benefit of creditors. What the bill does, so that's a fraudulent transfer. It's not fraud in the classic sense. It's a transfer made at the time the person making the transfer was insolvent. What the bill does is creates a heightened standard for transfers to a charitable organization. By charitable organization, we don't just mean anything. We mean a 501c3, something that is defined by the Internal Revenue Code as a charitable organization. In order for it to qualify as a fraudulent transfer that can be clawed back by a creditor, the transferee, the charitable organization receiving it, would have to have knowledge of the fraudulent nature of the transfer, meaning that they would have to have knowledge that the person they're receiving it from is insolvent. So it would just create a heightened standard for proving fraudulent transfers, quote unquote, to charitable organizations. That's all that the bill does in Section 1. In Section 2 of the bill, we have an increase in the bankruptcy exemption for motor vehicles, a long overdue increase from $3,500 to $5,000. That's Senate Bill 105. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, if there are no further questions, I would ask for the House's favorable. If there are no questions, I'll ask for the House's favorable consideration.
You have a question if you care to yield.
I'll take it, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Representative Williams to your right for a question. He waives.
Thank you.
No further questions.
I ask for the House's favorable consideration of Senate Bill 105, and I yield the well, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 105 will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 105. The ayes are 157, the nays are 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 134. Senate Bill 134.
Yeah, loose as a goose. Senate Bill 134 by Senator Carter, the first bill being entitled Amendment Code Section 161321 relating to definitions relative to controlled substances so as to revise the definition of prescriber. This bill has been for the House Committee on Judiciary and Non-Civil. That committee recommends the bill to pass. The bill is being read for the third time.
Chair recognizes Chairman Weldon to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, bring you House or Senate Bill 134. Senator Carter and other senators put together. This bill just adds to the definition of prescriber under the Title 16 and includes any other state or territory of the United States for someone who writes prescriptions. This is necessary in order to be very clear about who can prescribe drugs, and they can be filled by a pharmacist in this state. And Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I'll yield the well.
You do have a question if you care to yield. Got a couple of them.
I'll yield.
Chair recognizes Representative Spencer to your right for a question.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, I'll yield.
Just kind of curious, will this allow out-of-state prescribers to have access to a prescription monitoring database in Georgia?
This does not.
Thank you.
You got another question if you care to yield.
I will yield.
Chair recognizes Representative Henson to your left for a question.
Thank you. I guess I'm wondering why you're bringing this bill forward, because I know that when I've been in other states or needed a prescription, it was able to be phoned in from Georgia to, say, Florida or Massachusetts. And does Georgia not allow that kind of reciprocity currently?
Well, this is one of the rules that have been set forth by, or have been promulgated by the Pharmacy Board, I think will allow it. This puts it into state law so that it's very clear that if someone comes to Georgia and for whatever reason they run out of their prescription, They enjoyed their stay so long in DeKalb County that they needed to get it filled by another DeKalb County pharmacy. They can go and do that. They can go see Ira right over there and get it taken care of.
Thank you. I imagine they were enjoying climbing Stone Mountain.
No doubt. Mr. Speaker, if there are no further questions, I'll yield the well.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. There is an amendment. This amendment, this bill comes to us under the modified structure rule. There was an amendment approved by the Rules Committee by Representative Stevens. It's AM 410006. Is there any objection to the adoption of the Stevens amendment? Chair hears none. The amendment is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? Have all members now voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of Senate Bill 134, the ayes are 155, the nays are 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed.
Thank you, Rob.
Chair recognizes Chairman England for a motion. Just a minute, Mr. Chairman. We are still doing business here. This House will be at order. If you have important discussions, that's what the ante rooms are for. Gentlemen may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House insist on its position on House Bill 106 and that a committee of conference be appointed.
Chairman England has moved that the House insist on its position on House Bill 106 and that a committee of conference be appointed. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 106 by Representative Ralston, 7th. The bill will be entitled Act to Make and Provide Appropriations, State Fiscal Year, July 1, 2013, ending June 30th, 2014.
Chair recognizes Chairman England to explain his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, this will basically give us some weekend entertainment and opportunities for fellowship with our colleagues in the Senate, and we just need to get this rolling so we can get done and wrap things up for next Thursday.
I think they're still doing points of personal privilege over there, so your weekend may be delayed. Is there objection to the motion? The chair hears none. This House has insisted on its position. The chair appoints to the Committee of Conference the gentleman from the 116th District, Chairman England, the Speaker Pro Tem, the lady from the 47th, Representative Jones, and the Majority Leader of the House, the gentleman from the 146th District, Representative O'Neill, as a committee of conference on House Bill 106. If you have signed up for an announcement, no, where's my? The chair wants to announce that Senate Bill 65 will be postponed to the next legislative day. Senate Bill 155 will be postponed to the next legislative day. Senate Bill 137 will be postponed to the next legislative day. And Senate Bill 224 will be postponed to the next legislative day. If you signed up for an announcement, make your way down to the front. Here's where we are. This House has worked hard today. We came in early. We got to work. We have passed 22 measures, not including the local calendar. 22 bills. And at 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, we were able to appoint a conference committee on the budget. Now we're going home. There are bills left over there that have been under discussion for months and months and months, and they're not anywhere close to taking them up, and so we're going home, and we'll see what happens when we come back Monday. Are there any announcements? Chair wants to announce we forgot to wish happy birthday today. Help me welcome or wish happy birthday to Representative Pat Gardner. Representative Gardner. Also want to wish a little early happy birthday to the chairman of the State Planning and Community Affairs Committee, Chairman Pruitt. He was hoping we'd forget. We didn't. Happy birthday on Sunday. There are no announcements. There are no announcements. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of this House for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House now adjourn until Monday morning, March 25th, 2013 at 10 a.m.
On the motion of the majority leader that this House adjourn until 10 o'clock a.m. on Monday, the 25th of March, which will be Legislative Day 38. 38. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes have it. This House will be adjourned until Monday morning at 10 a.m.